Hello all my lovely Sunday clubbers. It's Gloria Good News back again with, say it with me, KMPCSCTV. This week, Fiona has an amazing story for us about someone who saw something quite astonishing. Like most good stories, this one has quite a great plot twist at the end. Mo and Mabel will be up to their usual antics, and we will be going over our verse one last time. But first, over to Fiona.
Well, boys and girls, we have made it right to the end of the Bible. Today we're going to be looking at the book of Revelation. We have been on quite a journey, haven't we? When we started last year in the book of Genesis and Amy told us the story of creation. And we have journeyed through every book of the Bible, right from Genesis to Revelation, telling God's fantastic story. And you know, I truly believe that it is the greatest story ever told. And like any good story, it has a really great plot twist at the end. So listen very carefully as I use the Jesus Storybook Bible to tell you a little bit about all the wonderful things that God told John and he wrote down in the book of Revelation. And listen carefully for that plot twist. And for those who are not quite sure what a plot twist is, well, when you're reading a story or you're watching a film and you're sure you know what's going to happen, and then suddenly something takes you by surprise, happens quite out of the blue and turns everything you thought was going to happen right on its head. Well, that's a plot twist. Just like Hans in Frozen turned out to be the bad guy, and in Harry Potter, our minds were all blown when we realised Snape had actually been a good guy all along. So let's look at what God has to say to us in his book, Revelation. So just before I read today's story from the Jesus Storybook Bible, I want you to think, what is the most amazing thing that you have ever seen? Are you thinking about it? Good. Well, let me tell you, the things that John sees in our story today are even more amazing than the most amazing thing you have ever seen. So when you're sitting comfortably, I'm going to begin. A dream of heaven. John sees into the future from Revelation chapter 1, 5, 21 and 22. John was one of Jesus' helpers. He was old now and living on an island, which might sound nice, except it was a prison. The leaders put him there to stop him talking about Jesus. But I'm sure you don't think a little thing like being in a cell, in a prison, on an island, in the middle of an ocean could stop God's plan. Do you? One morning, Jesus appeared right there in John's cell. Jesus' eyes were bright, shining like the sun. I am going to show you a secret, John, Jesus said, about when I come back. His voice was like the sound of rushing waters. Write down what you see so God's children can read it and wait with happy excitement. Then Jesus gave John a beautiful dream, except for John was wide awake and what he saw was real. And one day it would all come true. And this is what John saw. I see a throne, and on the throne is a king, and the king is Jesus. All around the throne, people are bowing down. They are giving him their treasures. There are loud cheers and clapping and bright laughter like 1,000 waterfalls, and everyone bursts out singing a new song. This is our King, the Lamb who died so we don't have to, our rescuer. All honour and glory forever and ever. And every creature, everywhere, in heaven and on earth and under the earth and in the sea, joins in. And then, from all around, a wide, immense, beautiful silence. And I see Satan, God's horrible enemy, thrown down, defeated. I see a sparkling city, shimmering in the sky, glittering, glowing, coming down from heaven and from the sky. Heaven is coming down to earth. God's city is beautiful. Walls of topaz, jasper, sapphire, wide streets paved with gold, gleaming pearl gates that are never locked shut. Where is the sun? Where is the moon? They aren't needed anymore. God is all the light people need. No more darkness, no more night. And the King says, look, God and his children are together again. No more running away or hiding. No more crying or being lonely or afraid. No more sick or dying. Because all those things are gone. Yes, they are gone forever. Everything sad has come on true. And see, I have wiped away every tear from every eye. And then a deep, beautiful voice that sounded like thunder in the sky says, look, I am making everything new. It was hard to squeeze all John saw into words and fit it onto a page and cram it into a book. All the words on all the pages of all the books in all the world would never be enough. I am the beginning, Jesus said, and the ending. One day, John knew heaven would come down and mend God's broken world and make it our true and perfect home once again. And he knew in some mysterious way that would be hard to explain that everything was going to be more wonderful for once having been so sad. And he knew then that the ending of the story was going to be so great it would make all sadness and tears and everything seem just like a shadow that is chased away by the morning sun. I'm on my way, said Jesus. I'll be there soon. John came to the end of his book, but he didn't write the end. Because, of course, that's how stories finish. And this one, it's not over yet. So instead he wrote, "Come quickly, Jesus," which is perhaps just another way of saying, to be continued. For anyone who says yes to Jesus, for anyone who believes what Jesus said, for anyone who will just reach out to take it, then God will give them this wonderful gift. To be born into a whole new life, to be who they really are, who God always made them to be, their own true selves, God's dear children. Because you see, the most wonderful thing about this story is it's your story too. There were some really amazing things that John saw, weren't they? And did you get that really exciting plot twist at the end of the book of Revelation? Well, you see, it's not the end of the story. Sure, it's not. In fact, it's not even the beginning of the end, because this story doesn't have an ending. Because God's rescue plan means that we can be with God forever. Isn't that just wonderful, amazing news? And this story of God's story from Genesis to Revelation, we are part of that story too. And I know lots of you have thanked God for sending Jesus as your rescuer. And you are following him. And you know that one day you are going to be with him in heaven, just the way John saw in his dream. And that is amazing. And that makes me so excited and so happy this morning. But maybe for some of you watching SCTV this morning, that's the first time you've really heard this and the first time you thought about it. So why don't you talk to a grown-up at home, someone that you know understands all about God's rescue plan, and talk to them about this amazing story of how God wants us all to be with him forever in his new heaven and earth, where there will be no more tears or hurting. It sounds just amazing. So let's make sure that God's amazing story is also our story too.
And as you can see, Mo has brought his kazoo with him today. Well, today, boys and girls, Mo is going to be playing some famous tunes on his kazoo. And at home, you've got to try and work out which song he is playing. It's going to start off quite easy, but as always, it'll get a little bit harder. Okay, Mo, are you ready to play the first tune? Fabulous, Mo. Okay, have a guess. 3, 2, 1. It was happy birthday. Give yourself a point if you got it right. Okay, Mo, ready for number 2? Let's go. Well, 3, 2, 1. It was Old MacDonald had a farm. Give yourself a point if you got it right. Okay, boys and girls, the next ones are going to get a little bit harder. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. I wonder, did you get it? It was Under the Sea from The Little Mermaid. Give yourself a point if you got it right. Okay, ready for the next one, Mo? Oh, that was a high one, Mo. I wonder, did you get it? It was a whole new world from Aladdin. Give yourself a point if you got it right. Okay, for the next couple, boys and girls, they're songs that you might know from Sunday Club. Listen carefully. Well, boys and girls, did you recognize that tune from Sunday Club? It was a favourite. Our God is a great big God. Give yourself a point if you got it right. Okay, ready for the last one, boys and girls. Listen carefully. What fabulous playing, Mo! It was This Little Light of Mine. Well done, boys and girls. Give yourself a point if you got it right. Now, count up all your points, boys and girls, and see how well you did. Boys and girls, we have had so much fun seeing you each and every week on Sunday Club TV, and we hope you've had lots of fun playing games with us. Boys and girls, it's bye from us for now, and we hope to see you again very soon. Bye!
Thanks for another great show, gang. It's wonderful news that God is our rescuer, and amazing to know that we can be part of his big story too. That's definitely a reason to, say it with me, keep